All right.
Started me up.
Okay, and we are live right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is Arknolia and the Doctor episode what was it? Episode 7, I think it was, of our
Episode
recap.
7.
Yep, sweet Eid. Yes, it is. Yep, everything's going good. And how are your how are you doing this on this Monday evening there, man?
I'm doing okay.
That's good. That's good to hear. Of course, tomorrow night's going to be a election. We're going to be talking about that a little bit there after our recap and preview of what we had last week and what we've got going on this week here. I already just uploaded a video at the nearby mall, just asking everybody to fucking keep it civil. If Trump wins, we don't need to see anybody idiots out there on the road, hand in hand, blocking traffic, pulling some sort of demonstration or something, or these young kids out there saying, I got something to say, I'm going to start a revolution. I'm like, motherfucker, you could even start a lawnmower for crying out loud, let alone change a tire. So definitely we're going to be probably be discussing that probably on. I should probably give Casey his raw a little notice to see let him know that we're live. See if he wants to come on there.
Yeah, just send him a little note. We'll see what happens.
Okay, well, I'll do that right now. So, this coming tomorrow night, we have, of course,
We'll
you know,
continue
uh,
with the Stones
yep, and possibly Thursday night we'll be taking a look at the Who and their lengthy career there.
or the Kinks.
Yeah, the Kings sort of cool. We got a lot of British bands to cover there, believe it or not. So,
Yeah, let's think about the Kinks then and the Who on next week because the Who are probably going to take two. The Kinks probably one.
yeah, I'm thinking that. So you want to do the Kings first and then the Who later on?
Yeah, because I think the Kinks can be covered in one. Well,
We don't. Because interesting because we hardly hear about the Kings that much. Believe it or not. We because they haven't been around in how many years now. I know. Just Ray Davies is by himself. He has yet to release any solo work. I think his brother Dave, his co-guitarist, had a stroke a long time ago, and I guess I don't know if he's able to play or not. Who knows?
and of course the Who are down to two people.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's Townsend and Daltrey. John Lentils is dead. Keith Moon has been dead. Definitely when we discuss who we got to talk about Keith Moon and the possibility that he may have been autistic.
Yeah, and then
Because what,
John
and
Entwood, Whistle being an underappreciated bass player, was actually
I
pretty
know
good.
it's like he was a badass. I mean, like he had a long step of cool looking bass guitars when you think about it there.
Yeah, and
That
then
explore.
and
Go
then
ahead.
on Wednesday we're gonna continue with the Twilight Zone because we didn't get very far with it,
Yeah, that's true.
so we'll have to start up on that one again. And Friday I haven't really thought about what I'm gonna do for a movie. Then I've got several ideas because Friday
Hmm.
is actually my birthday. Um,
Oh.
did you get a chance to see that Manitou that I told you about?
No, I'm sorry. We've been so busy with a lot of crazy shit up there, but I definitely gotta thank you for reminding me about it because so much shit has been going around on the house area. A lot of stuff coming in, a lot of things to take care of here and there, such and such.
Well, we'll tentatively plan the Manitou, but if you don't see it, let's see, what's another good choice? I haven't seen Heaven's Gate yet, and I doubt I'll see it by Friday. Of
Mhm.
course, I
Oh
hadn't
yeah.
seen Sheena when we talked about that, so I could talk. Heaven's Gate's the alternate. Let's just do that
No.
because I can read up on it if I can't get to it,
Mhm.
and we can
Oh,
do
I
that.
did some research on it, and man, there was a lot of things that went on during the making of this movie here. Barely of one of them was a pretty serious stuff here. Basically there was a few animals that were abused during the making of that movie.
Hmm. Yeah, that'll be the alternate if you don't get to Manitou, because you need to see that
Okay,
one.
definitely. I will.
And I thought about, well, if we don't really have a topic for tonight, but some things that I needed to point out on the recap.
Okay, definitely.
Let's see. Last week we did British Invasion on Tuesday, and we
Hmm.
did the Stones on Thursday. We
Yep.
started the Twilight Zone on Wednesday, and on Friday we covered Ray Harryhausen.
Yes, we did.
Um, I'd have to look it up to see for sure, but a group we didn't mention during the British invasion was the Walker Brothers. I believe they were British, and they had two pretty big hits. Uh,
Mm.
Make It Easy on Yourself and The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore.
Oh wow.
Those were two pretty
I,
big hits.
I think let me look it up here. The Walker Brothers.
But I believe they were British, and I could be mistaken.
Okay, Walker Brothers pop group here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yes. Now I got to clean this damn computer out because it drives me nuts. This often says, let's see, it was the Walker Brothers. They were American pop group in the
Okay.
1960s. Okay, and
Well, no
70s.
wonder we didn't mention them.
That's true. Yeah, now that's why it wasn't on the list of British bands on that one particular episode there.
Another group that actually wasn't British, but they were Australian, besides the Bee Gees, was a
Hmm.
group called the Easy Beats.
Oh,
They,
I've heard of that song. Yeah, Friday on My Mind.
yeah, big hit with Friday on My Mind. But like I said, they were
Okay.
Australian, which for a long time I thought they were British, but
Well,
nope.
here's a well-known fact. You may know this, and for those who don't know, two of the members, George Young and Henry Vanda, they would later be the producers for the early AC/DC albums. They're like High Voltage, Powerage, and Let There Be Rock. And also, they had a project of their own in around 1979 called Flash and a Pan. There was a song called Hey St. Peter, which was a big hit on the rock radio around that year there.
And something else that I've discovered uh, while I was browsing through some of my collection,
Hmm.
uh, Cheap Trick actually had an album where they did the whole Sergeant Pepper live,
Wow. That's
which
something there.
yeah, and I listened to it. It's impressive. They did a good job.
Well, by the way, here's something else. Len on John Lennon's sessions for the Double Fantasy album, apparently Bun E. Carlos, the drummer, and their guitarist Rick Nielsen, they contributed some guitar and drum work on some of the sessions for that album. Basically, they were probably for the demos there, for what I understand. I think some of those demos stuff were finally released and on some sort of a reissue CD of Double Fantasy many years back.
Wow.
Yeah. So to get that, and this was like I said, the demos before they decided to get the band that they got for the actual album recording, which included Tony Levin, who later joined King Crimson after the sessions there.
Wow. Oh, and when we talked about Manfred Mann, there were actually three songs we didn't mention that I think are worth mentioning.
Ah,
They did a cover of Watermelon Man, which was actually really nice.
hmm.
And they
Because
did
I
a
remember there was a no, because I remember there was a Watermelon Man I heard about, which was in band class at one point. I don't know if that was the same one there.
well, I think Herbie Hancock had a version of it, but I'm not sure. And actually, I don't know who the original was. But that's a pretty neat little song. And they did another one called One in the Middle, which was basically kind of they introduced you to the band. Uh,
Hmm.
and that's a pretty decent song. And then another one was If You Gotta Go, which was for that period of time pretty risque.
Wow.
But that's a nice little song too.
And I guess this was one of those explicit type of songs there. I guess it was.
It was more suggestive than anything
Not.
else.
I see. Something like I think we're alone now
Yeah, pretty
by
close to
Tommy
something like
James and the
that.
Shondells. Pretty something like that. Yeah. Or Light My Fire, which I remember. Grace Slick said it was a very explicit song during that period of time.
Yeah, they had to. Well, if you listen to Peter, Paul, and Mary on the it's only rock and roll. They do mention that the lyrics are hidden in some cases. I don't recall what the exact line is, but it's basically about how rock and roll. Well, actually, that's on I dig. Yeah, I dig rock and roll music. They're talking about they don't know how to say it, so they read. You have to read it between the lines or something like that. And there was a lot of that going on. People just don't realize how much, because now
Right.
everything is absolutely explicit and there's no hidden meaning. It's out there. But it's more.
Just out there. Whereas it was kind of funny. It was it's when she mentioned that. I remember the song "Saving All My Love for You" by Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
which is about adultery, by the way. You know, a guy cheating on another woman behind his family's back. You have your family, and they need you there. Ah, Super Roll Hunter. I contacted him to see if he wanted to participate. Give us a few minutes, Super Roll Runner. We have to add. Fuck it. Let me add him and add you back, Ark. Okay.
Okay. And while we're waiting, uh, I was trying to think of what we might talk about a little bit here, but I'll wait for the doctor to come back and ask him if he's uh, there.
There you are.
Okay, a couple of things I was going to ask you if we don't do a whole show on, we might discuss a little bit in these shows. One of them was
All right.
what you might call debut albums that created a stir or had a whole large impact or just really set the tone for the group or something like that. I got
Uh huh.
some examples of that. Another one that I'd like to do sometime is rare songs that you never hear about, but were good songs. And then of course one hit
Yes, I
wonders.
know.
And then of course one hit wonders. They're kind of
Yeah.
fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Silver Roll Hunter, Minnesota Silver Roll Hunter. Finally, I got you in, dude.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just got your message on Skype.
Yeah. So how's everything going on? Everything going smooth there, or anything?
Yeah, no riots or nothing yet, I don't think.
No, no rice. Oh.
Yep.
All right. So is if Trump wins tomorrow, is everybody going to be ready for the whining, the windbags out there? Is going to be whining, scoffing, pitching, pissing, moaning.
Oh, I hope they win. I hope he wins.
I hope so too, man.
Yeah.
I really do because like I said, we don't need. We're going strong for 4 years, and we don't need to go back.
Yeah, that's true.
And plus, I can imagine all the Trump haters on my Facebook friend list who are going to be bitching, pissing, moaning, and screaming their heads off. Blah, 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 blah. You know. So so I have to wait and see. And a lot of the polls that I've seen so far, Trump is leading way over Biden, and this is on Twitter, by the way.
Huh.
Yeah,
Heck of a deal.
no, no,
Interesting.
I think so. So I tried to get Casey's Raw on the call here as well, but he's going to be with Dave Rose later on tonight, I guess. So they're going to be doing a show.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. Have you talked to Dave Rose since that one Thursday night?
No, I haven't.
I haven't talked to him either. I got to be honest. Even though I had to laugh when you admit when you mocked him the way you did. I gotta set that. I gotta find me some mega fast metal thrash tune and put right that next to it as the lyrics there.
It'll go.
See how Yeah, I gotta do that, man. I gotta do that, man. I've been so tempted to find one. Probably later on when I get off the call here, when the show ends, we'll definitely have to do that there.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I
Did,
figured I'd try to get you and Vikings on, but he was too busy. So the told me to contact.
Yeah.
But going back to Dave Rose.
Did you guys leave?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
He's like breaking
none
up.
of us were. No, I'm still.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden, it just went
I was.
silent.
Huh. My voice broke up for some reason. I don't know. How could that be?
Yeah, it was
Disappeared.
like Skype interference or something.
Oh, and I know your voice kind of broke up there for a couple of seconds there, a little bit
Huh.
there, because I heard one of those reverbs.
One of the things that I thought might be
Hmm.
interesting is, well, I was telling Dr. Earl was massive debut albums that just really created a stir when they debuted. I have several examples. Of course,
Hmm.
obviously the first Beatles album that created
The
quite
first Boston album as well.
oh, the first Boston album was massive, and then Led
Of
Zeppelin's
course,
first album.
uh, Black Sabbath's first album.
Yeah, but they were albums that when they debuted, everybody said, "Boy, this is something special." And those were
Yeah,
good examples of all of those. Uh, yeah, everybody that heard the Boston album, there's not a song on the Boston album that doesn't get played. Every single
that's
song on that
true.
album gets played somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of times. But the one the problem is they always focus on the opening track more than the feeling.
Yeah,
I mean, but a lot of ways that track has been so overplayed on commercial radios, but they often forget about Foreplay slash Long Time or Rock and Roll Band or
well,
Smoking, and of course,
the fun
hello?
thing with Boston is trying to classify them. Some people call them prog, some people call them stadium rock. I think they're kind of in between the two because Foreplay Long Time is definitely a
Well,
prog song.
Yeah, I used to
yeah, that's
get
true.
high in
Yeah,
the
it has all.
80s.
I mentioned
I used to get high in the 80s and 90s listening to Boston all the time.
wow, that's something there. And you know what? I remember Dave Rose and JB when I joined it on that one episode of Monetize. They were having a discussion about was the band Boston a prog or a regular rock band, and I kind of like said best they were American rock band. They're still together, by the way. It's just Tom Schultz, guitarist and engineer and producer, at the only original member now. But yeah, not really a problem. They did involve some prog rock.
The elements were there, but
Yeah,
they weren't really a total prog band. But the elements were there for it, and
no,
they did have some prog. I mean, like I said, Foreplay Long Time is definitely a prog song.
absolutely, man. Because and plus we cannot forget the journey from the second record before it went into the third track. There, I think it was "Don't Be Afraid." I think it was. I'm trying to.
It could be, yeah. But Boston was one of those kind of bands. They had elements of prog, but they weren't a total prog band, or not in my opinion
Mm,
anyway.
I, I see. Yeah.
And another good debut album,
That's,
like I mentioned, was the Led Zeppelin album. I can remember when that first came out. I was working in the Gibsons, which is Kmart before Kmart. It was a discount store in Texas. But
oh yeah.
anyway, that we had a shipment of 8 tracks come in, and I was looking through them, and I saw that one. I go, this looks interesting. Stuck it in there, and the first song I hear is "Good Times, Bad Times." And I'm going like, holy cow, I love this. This is cool. And listen to that whole thing, and I mean, and
Oh
it
wow.
hit big. That album was super played, and it's basically a lot of people call that some of the beginnings of heavy metal, and I can see that. I can see a lot of metal in
Mhm.
that song, in what they were doing. I think definitely some of the metal groups took note and went with that because
Definitely about it. They
about
did.
half the songs or more are definitely metal. It's hard to call not Days and Confused. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. That's hard to call that a metal song, but I guess it's possible.
So was Stairways to Heaven on the first
No,
album?
Fourth one.
Oh,
Communication
fourth one. Okay.
breakdown.
Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of Led Zeppelin when I was younger.
Either one, it's the untitled one.
I just had a question. I don't know if it's true or not, but like when you go to guitar stores and stuff, they say you can't play Highway to or Stairway to
Stairway
Heaven.
to Heaven, yeah.
Well, that was
And
the
why is
joke in
that?
Wayne's World.
Oh, okay.
That was the
That's
joke
why.
in Wayne's World because
And I
everybody
saw a
tries to
couple.
play that song.
I tried to. I know somebody. I'm there. Last time I was in a guitar store, though, one of the songs I tried to play, I was playing was "Thieves" by Ministry, and that kind of surprised the guy behind the counter because usually told me they usually play either Guns N' Roses and stuff like that or Zeppelin.
Yeah, everybody likes to practice with those songs for some reason.
I know because I know for some reason because those songs usually have. That's when they show the power of those songs. The best to find out if the guitar is just as powerful as the songs that you get the idea there. I'm getting tongue
Yeah.
tied there.
Well, sometimes when I went in, I'd always try to do something a little unusual. Uh,
Mhm.
One of the ones I used to do is Starship Trooper by Yes. The third
Mhm.
part of that song where he does the D the D stuff up and down the bar.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
closing.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to jump on you guys.
Well, it's
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay, dude.
I noticed as I've been getting older, I've been loving jazz more. Like the blues.
Oh yeah.
Albert King and BB King and yeah. I just love listening to that.
Oh man, there was this cool jazz station. He used to call itself Smooth Jazz around the southeast Michigan area. I also would listen to that a lot of times. There were a couple of times when I would drive my car out to the um,
I
Fade
like.
note again.
Yeah, I liked Chris Correa and
to
Weather Report.
the
Those were good.
St. Clair Shores.
Of course, Miles Davis.
Yeah,
Has this fading been happening since I came on the call, or?
the
Not real
fading
sure.
of our voices. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know what the hell is going on with my end. Is your end okay there? Is there any lagging on there,
Well,
guys?
I hear you fading in and out, but
Yeah, I
everything
don't
else
know
is
what the
good.
hell is going on here.
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
wondering if it was when I connected or what.
We weren't on long enough
I
to.
don't know, but it's
Oh,
I don't think we're
yeah,
on more than
that's
2 minutes or
true. I
so.
don't know what the fuck.
There he goes
Uh,
again.
yeah, it's
Oh,
still kind of early in the approach. Yeah, I know. What
yeah.
the
Well, we were kind of
fuck
discussing jazz there. I hope
is
you
going on?
heard some of that.
And I know
I was trying to think the
my
other.
lagging like hell there.
I was trying to think the other guy's name that played in Weather
I
Report. I
don't know
think
why
of
it's doing.
what Wayne Shorter. Is that right?
Wayne and I Jaco Possumus, I get that bass player that influenced the current bass player of Metallica. In fact, there was a documentary on him that was produced by Robert Turturro.
Yeah, because I know it's interesting. They used to play a Weather Report song on the Weather Channel.
And I
Gee,
just got to notice that the stream, and I just got to notice that the stream is down.
really?
Fuck this shit, man. Yes, exactly. I have to stop this for a second. Change the fucking thumbnail. I hate this bullshit.
I assume mine's still up. Of course, I only have like 2 people watching, and one of them's me. I don't know who the other one is.
yeah. Hey,
This
that's
is
how it is when you first start, bro. And then you'll slowly get over time. You'll get more and more.
Yeah, just looking for a little promo, I suppose, or something from some of the people I know on other streams. That sort of thing. Have
Yeah,
somebody
we'll
going,
have to shout you out on ours Thursday night.
"Oh, that'd be cool." I
But
mean,
see, I think you got a hard name, and a lot of people probably have a hard time finding you.
well, that's true. I guess whenever I choose a fake name, I should do something a little different. or that is different, but something a little bit easier to figure out.
Yeah, because I know when I tried looking you up, it took me probably 15 minutes to find you.
Yeah, uh, yeah. But the easy part is if you spell out Arknolia, there ain't but one of us, unless some
Yeah, that's
fake, unless some fake guy starts up.
true.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, Doctor Earl, if you're in the middle of anything there, yeah, you got a note that says it's working now.
I just stopped the stream. Son of a bitch. Now I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this again.
It must be bad luck.
No, I don't think it's that.
I
I
don't
just
know, but it just pisses me off over this simple. We're having all these damn issues here.
maybe it's that 1920s computer you're using. That's a joke, by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
actually
yeah.
mentioned that.
But
I just put in
I
8 more gigs of memory into my computer.
Yeah, the more RAM you've got, the better off you are normally. Or sorry,
Yeah,
ROM.
it's running a lot quicker now.
Yeah, I think I have 16 in this computer. One of the computers. The other computer, the one I'm using now, I honestly don't know. But it's a relatively new laptop, so I'm sure it's working okay.
Yeah, I got 16 and it now. I was running it with 8, and I got 16 now, and I think I can get up to 32 in there. I think
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
so. It's just they just get a little more expensive the more gigs you get. So
True.
yeah, so that's my plan is to get it up there sometime here.
Yeah, and then supposedly it'll run faster, cleaner, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and it doesn't pause, or if you have a lot of stuff on your OBS, it doesn't stop or whatever. Too.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a lot of stuff on this little laptop, so I run pretty clean, I guess, at this point. And I'm
See,
trying to.
I'm. Oh, I'm sorry. I
I was
keep.
gonna say I'm trying to leave a lot of stuff off this computer and put it all on the main one because the main one I got like 2 terabytes of memory, and then I have a couple external. One's 1 terabyte and the other one's 4. So I got all kinds of room for stuff on this computer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a tower computer I use that has 2 terabyte memory, and yeah, I never. I mean, I had a laptop I was
Alright.
using, but it was so damn slow.
Yeah,
I think we're back. Just waiting for the screen to pop up there.
yeah, because I'm not seeing you
Yes,
yet, but
again.
mine's a little slow for some reason on picking you up.
I don't get it, man.
Did you
This
listen?
this is one of the things that pisses me. What? Go ahead.
I was going to ask Silver Roll if he listened to any of the stuff we did last week.
Uh I'm trying to remember what was it about.
Well, we did Ray Harryhausen on Friday because he had some
Okay.
really cool monsters and
It was
back in the
the
day.
special.
And then on Wednesday we did Twilight Zone about the first 2 seasons. That's one of those iconic anthology type. Well, you know that.
Yeah, I usually listen when I see it pop up because I have you
Mm-hmm.
the bell pushed in.
Yeah,
So usually when I see you go on, I watch your guys' stuff, and sometimes it's like even when the bell's on, I don't get the stuff that comes up.
I never do for any of them that I have the bell pushed on, which is weird. So basically, I have to just check once in a while.
Yeah, because I kind of watch it on my big screen TV, my smart TV, YouTube on that.
Oh wow.
So that when I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting to watch TV, I pretty much only watch YouTube, and I got Hulu, and I got Netflix, and I don't got no cable, and I just kind of that's what I watch.
Yeah, it's funny to say this, but a lot of the old stuff's the only thing worth watching.
Yeah, actually, I was just watching Gilligan Island reunion back from like the 80, like 89 or something like that.
Oh
It was
wow,
pretty
because
neat.
I think the only one still
Oh
alive is
wow.
Dawn Wells, and I don't even know about her.
Huh.
Because I know Gilligan and Skipper are dead. I know Tina Louise is dead. I know the come on, the rich people are
No, they're
dead.
still on.
I was gonna say if it's not
The
working,
rich
live
couple.
on
Yeah, I can't even think
podcast,
of their names.
yourself dead.
And
I
then
know. I think it was one of them was
I don't
Burgess
think it's
Meredith
happening.
Fair who played him.
oh no, it was I can't think of his name. I don't know why I'm drawing a
Jim
blank.
Backus.
Jim Backus,
Jim
that's it.
Backus.
Uh,
Jim Back. Yeah, Jim Backus, who later did Mr. Magoo, the voice of that
yeah,
character.
and Russell Johnson, the professor's dead. And like I said, I haven't heard if Dawn Wells is still alive or not, but she was the last one.
Wow.
Oh wow. That's something. Bob Denver. I know he's dead now
Oh yeah.
as well.
Well, and here's the ultimate question: Ginger or Marianne?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Tough.
know a lot of people. I know a lot of people were into Ginger at that time, but then again, I would have to go with Marianne because she was more realistic,
Marianne
more
was the one
down
I'd
to earth.
I'd go with.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. The country girl.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she was something special on that show. She really was. What's funny is the first season, the theme when they were introducing the characters, the Gilligan, the Skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie
Hmm.
star. The first season it was and the rest, and then second and third
Oh
season
shit! Really?
they did the Professor and Marianne. I always thought that was kind of funny.
Did you guys ever see the cartoon version of that show there?
Yeah, actually
It
I did.
had all the original. Yeah, I just seen it a couple of times myself, but it goes on Saturday morning, and I guess it had all the like they did with the Star Trek animated series. They had the original cast members doing the voices.
Except
Huh.
possibly Tina Louise because she wanted out of that show quick.
Oh wow!
But the reason they made the change in the theme was by Bob Denver's request, actually.
Oh wow!
He said, "You guys aren't doing the Professor and Marianne. You need to put them in the theme." And that's why they did it, because of Bob Denver. It wasn't
Wow!
anything Russell Johnson or Don Wells were saying.
Well, I just
Wow!
can't imagine.
Include
I just watched
everybody, I
everyone's dead
guess.
in it. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and
Wow! Including
there was actually a pilot for that show.
including Don Wells.
I'm sorry.
What's up?
I was going to say there's actually a pilot for that show that had some different characters. I don't remember who all was different. I think both Ginger and
Let's see.
Marianne were different, and possibly the millionaire's wife, Natalie Schaefer. I don't remember, but I do know they had
Oh
at
wow!
least two different characters. But they did that was the pilot, and I've seen it a
Must
couple of times.
must have been a reboot because usually networks have a tendency to do that. Was it on syndication?
No, it was just one that they said, "Oh, by the way, here's the pilot," and they showed it to us,
Mm.
and it was the one they did before they got the cast, but it had different people in it.
I
Oh
mean, if they
wow!
redid that like nowadays, I'd watch it. If
Yeah,
they had a whole new thing. But it'd be more diverse now. It'd probably have a rapper on it. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it probably wouldn't
you
be
know,
as much fun to watch. But that's the funny thing is, if you told people that you watched that show, they kind of looked at you like you were nuts. And it was an interesting and fun show to watch. I really don't understand why people would give you a hard time for watching that show. It's what you'd
Yeah,
call a guilty pleasure, I guess.
yeah.
Which that's another
Somebody
thing. When we do a music episode, I want to do one on guilty pleasures.
TV.
This
Yeah, absolutely. We got to do because everybody has a guilty pleasure where it's a preference for a TV show, music, or an artist or something like that, or
Yeah, I think I mentioned once before. A lot of people will go down on or get down on you for saying this, but I like me some Neil Diamond. I mean,
mm,
I like the guy. I don't. He did some absolutely killer songs. I like some of
you know,
ABBA's stuff.
You know what my guilty pleasure was, always was, and probably will be? 80s R&B love ballads.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
me too.
talking about, songs by either Luther Vandross or Freddie Jackson, a couple by the Gap Band, that song Yearning for Your Love. That was always a favorite of mine. I always imagine a couple sitting in their house with the lights off and a summer evening there.
And I liked the Carpenters. I thought Karen Carpenter had a gorgeous voice.
She did. She still does to this day when you think about it.
Actually, she's been dead for like 15, 20 years.
I know. It's like, and that's, what's kind of funny, I think I mentioned this before. It took her death to make people aware about what anorexia was.
Yeah, yep,
Because back then, people didn't really know about this situation.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be kind of cool, if we could do like record, name this song or do you remember this song, and then play the song off a record or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be interesting too. I can name
Um,
that tone note. I can name that tune in 5 notes or whatever.
Right. Yeah. There we go.
yeah, because I think if you only play it for like 9 or 10 seconds, you don't get a copyright strike.
Yeah, and generally, I'm sure it's true for Dr. Earl. Generally, I can recognize a song in that amount of time. Generally, not always.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got like 300 albums and I haven't played them for 20 years.
Wow.
They're
Yeah,
just sitting.
well, I was
Yeah.
telling Dr. Earl that I have 300,000 or 400,000 MP3s.
Wow.
Wow.
'Cause
Damn.
I collect the
Damn.
heck out of them. If I find them,
Damn.
I'd grab them. I mean, I
You're
have
probably
stuff that
opening
I
up your
never
own
listen to.
MP3 store right there, man.
Yeah, but I honestly, I have stuff that I don't listen to or probably wouldn't listen to, but I just collected it and put it in my archive and go with that.
Dude, there's stuff on the MP and mine. One of my MP3s haven't played in a long time now. I've been focusing on this 2 or 3 songs, or as of late, my personal choice. And I realized, what? I have other pieces out there. I should play those.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it, it's kind of an experimentation thing. I see something that looks interesting, I go, hey, I wonder what that sounds like, and I'll play
Yeah,
it. And sometimes I'll go, well, I'm not playing that again, or I'll
yeah.
go, hey, that's pretty good. What else have I got?
I,
I do that more than I do. I don't want to listen to it anymore.
oh yeah. It's, it's kind
Interesting.
of
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hundred of thousands. Wow, that's it. Wow,
wow.
Well, I
cool.
used to have till I had to get rid of them 3,000, almost 4,000 albums.
Wow. All my albums are, except for some that I was able to take with me, are still. I had to leave behind it back in Mission because a lot of them were in my basement, and some of them got moldy, got that little basement smell to them.
Oh yeah,
That's like, screw it. MP3s are the thing now, iPads and such. And then, so I had converted all my stuff, all of my favorites, all my absolute dearest favorites onto my couple of MP3s here. Now, as I mentioned, the situation with my phone with the Google Play Music, closing up there. So now we got to go to YouTube Music and all that shit. I have to ask either my nephew or my sister if she knows anything about it, because it just pisses me off that it won't even allow to transfer all the stuff from that playlist onto this YouTube shit they got here. And I don't know if I have to pay for it, or whichever there, but fuck that. One of these days, I'm gonna have to find me used up phones to see if I can get that going there and put all my music selections on there.
well,
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying this out loud where anybody can hear it, but if you can get hold of a portable hard drive, I can. Well, obviously, I can dump you off quite a bit.
Wow.
Wow, right?
Yeah, heck, I'll have to when I can afford to get one. I mean, I know they're not that expensive, but kind of times are tight right now. For
Yeah. Well,
I
nobody's
know it
able to
is.
do
Yeah.
much of anything right now.
Let alone go out and things. I know there are people going out, but you got to have that damn mask on your damn face there.
Yeah,
And
that Wrigley doesn't bother me all that much, but yeah.
you know, I have to say, I think we all agree. The different kinds of face masks that are out there right now. You see them at Walmart. You see them at the nearby Myers. You see it at the grocery stores. That has become one of the biggest fashion trends of 2020.
Yeah, I've seen some that I thought were kind of interesting. That I thought, hey, you know what? That'd be kind of neat. I mean, I've
Yeah,
seen
what?
some that have like animal faces
Yep.
that, I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool to walk in somewhere wearing a cat face or whatever and have people go, hey, that's cool.
When I was out and about inside the mall getting a couple of things, I had my Darth Vader face mask on.
You know which one I thought would be kind of cool, but you remember Downey Jr. His talk show?
Morton Downey
Yeah,
Jr.
Yeah, more
Yes.
Morton Downey,
yeah, I remember
Yes.
that.
old
Downey
time guy.
Jr.
He'd always
Loved him.
smoke cigarettes,
Yes. Oh,
and he
yes.
had a
I
big
loved him.
smile, big teethy smile.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Have
remember that
him on the
guy.
front of one of them.
If people remember him because he's been dead for about God knows how many years now. But it's interesting. You should touch upon that because I heard about this guy. I wanted to check him out. He used to come on afternoons at one of the local stations, and if I wasn't able to check out the show, I had my mom and dad record it on VCR and
Oh,
check it out when I got home from work there. It came up with some pretty good discussions, and that's when we first heard about Reverend Al Sharpton and then the Tawana Brawley case.
interesting.
Yeah, and back then Al Sharpton was way heavier than what he is now. He's like almost skin and bones.
Oh, Reverend L. Sharpton.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What we got here, the failure communicating.
Oh gosh. Listen, that idiot there. I mean, he really made himself look like a fool. He was willing to go after the white cops, white man, and everything during that whole case. And turns out it was all apparently a hoax because the girl wanted to stay out late, but she feared a retaliation from her over. I don't know if the woman was abusive or overprotective, but she was a fascist or whatever it was. But apparently, she came up with this idea that she have something N-word bitch on her chest there, claiming that white cops had raped her. That caused a lot of disturbances within the New York Police Department and everybody else there.
Oh, yeah. Hell of a deal.
Yeah. Mm. Excuse me, Subaru?
I think he
Oh,
stepped
go
away.
ahead.
Okay, there he
Yeah,
is.
go ahead. I was on the other side of the studio. I was doing something.
All
Sorry
right.
about that.
All right. So is the Vikings willing to come on and say hi for a couple of minutes, or is he too busy?
Well, I know he's getting ready to do something. I can go check see if he can come and say hi.
Okay, we could do that.
All
Definitely.
right, hold on a second.
All right. So I guess this Friday there, did you want to do you wanted to do that movie you mentioned there, the Manitou, or
Only if you see it.
okay, gotcha, Manitou. Okay, I gotta
Yeah,
look it
because
up on the Wikipedia.
that one's a trip if you watch it. Hey, you're gonna sit there and go, what, what? It just go it's off in weird places. And the funny thing
Right.
is, it's got Tony Curtis in it, and
Okay.
there were a couple of other pretty big names.
19. I'm looking at it. It was a 1978 horror movie directed by William Girdler, Tony Curtis, Susan Strasberg. I
Yeah,
gotta
Susan
check it out.
Strasberg. Yeah,
Strasberg
it
there.
had big
It
people
was.
in it. And I don't
Hmm.
remember who the Indian was.
Hmm.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember his name. I originally thought it was Chief Dan George, and then I found out no, it's not him. It's another guy.
Oh wow. I'm looking at it right now. At the Google images of there. It looks pretty interesting. Did they have a midget portraying that particular character?
I'm not real sure how they did that, But essentially, the premise is this lady goes in because she has something going on her back and she doesn't know what it is. And the doctors, Tony Curtis being one of them, uh,
Uh-huh.
discover that it's alive and growing on her back, and it turns out to be like it's an old Indian chief or something, or medicine man or something. I don't recall. And so they're trying to figure out how to get it off the lady and get it off her back and all that. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not going to describe. You need to watch it.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it's on the YouTube movies here. I gotta check that out possibly. See if it's they're showing it on there. Because I definitely want to look it up there, and that's I should mention it. Let's
Well,
see.
it fits the description.
Trailer. Hmm.
Yeah, Dr. Brown.
Let's see there. Yes.
Yeah, he's already out of the house.
Oh, okay there.
So sorry
No
about that.
problem.
Uh,
No problem there. We'll definitely
we'll
speak
catch him
to
later.
him and you guys. Yeah, probably later on. Definitely on the Thursday there.
Yep. True.
Definitely for sure, man. All right. So tell him we said hi, and hopefully the city of Minneapolis will be safe this tomorrow night.
Yeah, he came in here earlier when your your stream was going down and let me know it was down, and then he was getting ready to go.
Yeah. All right, there. Mm-hmm. See, right now it's a bunch of trailers. Actually, I actually have the full movie in different sections. There's about 21 bits of there.
Well, it's like I said, it's an interesting watch. Hey, Silver Roll, have you ever seen a movie by the name of The Manitou with Tony Curtis?
The Manitou. I've seen. I mean, if I've seen parts of it, I probably have seen it because I watch a lot of.
Oh, you would remember it if you saw it. It's one of
Yeah, I
those.
used to watch a lot of them old. I like Tony Curtis.
Yeah, my favorite movie that he was in that I can remember off the top of my head was Houdini.
Oh, yeah.
That was an excellent movie, and it gave you a lot of insight into Houdini. I mean, he was a strange bird, but he was cool. I mean, in his own way.
Heck yeah. Yeah, especially as his upside down drowning in a tank.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's theoretically, well, in the movie, that's what killed him. I don't know if that actually was it or what.
And did it say what? I need this to be settled. What place, what venue did this happen in, and where he died? Because I was told many times it was the at the Majestic Theater back in Detroit on Woodward Avenue, that where he allegedly died.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either.
Harry Houdini. Let me look up there. What am I doing there?
Yeah, in the
I'm
movie
still
he
looking up
died
the
from.
Manitou movie there.
Yeah, in the movie he died from the stunt, the upside down. What? I'm trying to remember who played the lead girl. Was it Doris Day?
Oh, in the movie
Yeah,
about his life there.
yeah.
I do not know.
That was actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
I might have to watch it now again. It's been a long time.
Look up his notable escapes, the mirror challenge, the suspended overboard box escape, movie career. He had a movie career as well. Started showing films outside of it as outside of his part of his vaudeville act. He presented a short film called Houdini Defeats Hankenschmidt, which is George Hankenschmidt was a famous wrestler during that time. But the nature of the contest is unknown as the film is lost.
Yeah, a lot of those small films like that. If you're lucky enough to find them, wow, because they're really hard to find. It's kind of like when we were talking about Doctor Who. There's that one batch of episodes that they have to replace with stills and radio because the film itself is gone.
Wow, how does that happen?
Some idiot burns them. That's what happened there.
Yeah. According to the biography here, Harry Houdini hired H.P. Lovecraft and Lovecraft's friend C.M. Eddy Jr. to write an entire book about debunking religious miracles, which was been called the cancer of superstition. Houdini had earlier asked Lovecraft to write an article about astrology in which he paid him $75, which is equivalent today is about $1,083 this year alone. Now, the article does not survive. Lovecraft's detailed synopsis for cancer does
Synopsis.
survive,
Yeah.
as do three, what again?
Synopsis.
Synopsis. Yeah, thank you. As do three chapters of the treatise written by Eddie. Houdini's death derailed the plans, and as his widow did not wish to pursue the project even more. I'm looking at he died up here. Blah blah blah. Let's see. He died of some sort of a
Water in the lungs. No.
periodontitis. Um, Periodontitis, I think it's called there, secondary to a ruptured appendix on around 1 p.m. October 31st, 1926. It was in a room 401 at Detroit's Grace Hospital. He was 52 years old, so he did die in Detroit there.
And he died on
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Wow.
So he didn't die like they showed in the movie.
Well, how did they? I
They showed
guess.
him trying to get out of that water trick he did, and
Yes.
they got him out just in time for him to die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something there.
Yep.
Grace Hospital. I don't know if I no, I don't know if I've ever been there, but I that must be. I wonder if the room that he haunted or something like that. And you know, it's kind of prohibition that person to get in contact with Harry Houdini through seances.
Yeah, that was one of his things I remember in the movies. He'd go to seances and would
Mhm.
debunk seances.
Yeah, I guess what it was. Well, from what I understand, while he was on a trip there, his ma died, and when he got back and got the news, he would spend many, many hours on by her gravesite there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the movie too, he'd
Uh,
had a trick where they dropped him in ice water with in a trunk, and he tried to
wow.
escape, but he missed the spot to come up in, and he couldn't find his way. And then suddenly he said that he could hear his mother guiding him, and he found the way out. He was able to get out, and found out that she died while he was under the water.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a trip there.
You guys need to watch that movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was looking for the Manitou a couple of minutes ago, but all they have is selected trailers and a couple of scenes from it on YouTube. And that's pretty much about it. I thought they had the movie in 21 parts there, but it's mostly the same thing, trailers and other shit. So only so far I would have to go by the selected scenes that they have on YouTube. Because
Mm,
if you tried to look for it on either Netflix or a Hulu or a Movies 24 or 25, there'll be like nothing, no results there. I tried that with other couple movies many times on those things there, and they all come up blank.
wow. Huh.
Wow. All right.
Heck of a deal.
So, I know. So I'm gonna probably have to keep trying, I guess, for now.
Okay, just let me know kind of how it goes.
Okay, well, so I'll keep on trying there. But until you still want to do it, I know you mentioned you still only want to do it if I seen it there.
Well, I think you kind of need to see it. Uh, I just, it's kind of tough to talk about a movie if you haven't seen it.
Hmm.
I mean, I've
Yes.
done it, but I talked about Sheena, and I'd never seen the movie.
Um, I like to, and on this, since you got me interested, I'm intrigued to check it out myself there. So, what are your suggestions for Friday there? I already had my selection, the Heaven's Gate scenario, because that was a crazy ass thing. That's definitely one thing to talk about there. Apparently, what it was that it was way over budget. There were so many re-edits of that movie, and from what I understand, the acting was terrible, and plus the allegations of animal abuse that went on during the set there.
Yeah, all I have to do is sit down, and I can come up with a huge list because I like to watch, I guess for lack of a better term, bad movies. I
Yeah,
mean, sometimes they're fun to watch just because they are what they are. But I know
right.
that uh, we we could talk about the Gamera series like we did Godzilla. Those are
Yeah, oh
good.
yeah.
About the giant turtle that had rockets for feet or whatever.
Oh really?
Have you never seen a Gamera movie?
Gamma? No, I didn't.
They're
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, I mean, it's a giant turtle, and you're thinking to yourself, well, "Gee, I could get away from that." But somehow he has rockets in his feet, and it's
Huh.
like, what? And he
I
goes up,
can't get away.
yeah.
Bobby, is this a space age version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here?
Oh no, these came out about Godzilla time.
Oh
They're 60s,
gosh.
70s. But in fact, I think that the first one's black and white. But if you ever watched Mystery Science Theater, the camera was a favorite of theirs. They did about four of his shows or his
This tells you
movies.
how old I am. When I was a kid, I had a Godzilla um, model that I put together when I was a kid,
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
and it
Wow.
had light in the dark. It was like had light in the dark parts to it. So when you had it lit, when you shut the light off, it'd glow.
Yeah, I had a Godzilla monster model. I had a Frankenstein model. I had a model of the Mummy,
Cool.
Dracula. Let's see who were some. Oh, Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was my favorite.
See, that's something like when I was a kid in my closet, I always thought um, the vampire and the werewolf, Dracula, werewolf, and the mummy were in there waiting for me to go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I had a werewolf model too. No, I got all the monster models because I was big fan of monster movies.
Oh yeah.
I love those things. See, that's another one we could do would be the three creature movies.
Oh yeah.
Like the thing.
Yeah, that would be a decent one to do.
Oh yeah. The look in the stories about the John Carpenter version. People actually getting so grossed out that they actually vomited in the theaters.
Well, that kind of brings back memories of The Exorcist when it first came out.
Oh boy.
That
We
one
got
had people passing out in the theater and such.
wow.
That's like one movie that I watch like every couple years.
Uh, can imagine those people how they feel now when they see that spider walk from down the stairs that
Yeah,
she did.
yeah. And I,
Oh gosh. We got
Yeah, but
definitely
that's been animated like in a few other movies. It's kind of scary. The upside down walking,
yeah.
well,
kind of
didn't
freaky.
I pretty much quit watching wrestling, but what their guy? Well,
Bray Wyatt,
yeah, didn't
he
he do
did a
something
few
like that?
times. Yes, he did. Yes.
Scared the you scared the daylights out of people, I suppose.
Yeah. Got to remember, but you also got to remember when you're into pro wrestling, you got to really make sure your body is back and everything else is flexible, including your neck,
Yeah, but
because of all the damn moves that you're doing. If I were to get in a ring and my back and neck was stick, I'd be fucked.
yeah, but I just remember seeing that a couple of times, thinking to myself, "Hey, that's actually interesting." because I got to the point that it was never interesting anymore. So I quit watching about 2, 3 years ago completely.
Um, I know. I just stopped. The only thing I've watched so far was either old NWA and some of the recent stuff that NWA has put out. Well, even though some of the stuff hasn't really tickled my sides.
Yeah,
Most have been documentaries, this and that, podcasts of the wrestlers that they have on the side there, like the NWA World Champion Nick Aldis. He has a show called "What's Causing All This," if you get the term there.
yeah, yeah. He's
And I'm
playing with
not really
words.
and I'm just not really interested in We had so many wrestlers doing podcasts, whether it's Colt Cabana, Steve Austin, Chris Jericho here and there. It's just it gets a little bit overdone. But then again, this is how they earn money on the side there.
Well, I grew up in the '60s, '70s, and '80s with wrestling, and having watched that, it's really hard to get into anything nowadays because it's just not the same. I
I
mean,
know.
I knew it was fake as a kid, but it was still interesting and it was still fun, and they made it seem real. So
Exactly.
you know, it,
I think what it was, I think the big mistake was when John Stossel, was when he did that report for the show 2020, which he was a part of at that time, the ABC News show.
yeah,
I think what it was is that he was the one who helped expose the business, but the other person that was responsible was a cat named Eddie Mansfield. He was supposed to be a big upcoming wrestler with the WWF, but apparently what it was now revealed Pat Patterson was the one who apparently got him fired because he wouldn't do no sexual favors for the guy. Apparently, I guess as a result of that, he wanted to get back at the WWF by revealing all its secrets, and it pissed off everybody, including Dr. D. David Schultz. You remember what happened when Sasso asked Schultz that, is wrestling fake? I believe it's fake. I believe it is. And as you can see what happened, if you look on the footage, Stasso ended up with getting smacked across his eardrums and ended up with permanent hearing damage.
yeah. And the funny thing was, the story was Vince McMahon told him to do that.
Wow. But I guess what it was is that, but either way, Schultz got the screw job because he was soon let go after that.
Yeah, but when I grew up, we had guys like, well, I got to see the original Fritz von Erich when he was,
Mm.
you
Oh
know,
yeah,
because I got to see him then before he put his sons into business. I got to see them too,
yeah.
and just there's just all kinds of guys that are just. It was just kind of fun to watch, and it was fun to watch with my grandfather because my grandfather believed it. He thought every minute of it was real, and watching him do the reactions he would do was almost as entertaining as the show itself.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, he would get incensed. He would sit there and the bad guy would do something, and man, he would just almost come out of his chair. And I'm sitting there going, "Hey, this is cooler than the wrestling."
Yeah.
Watching his reaction.
Yeah. It's like, dude, it's like, it's still real to me. That kind of vibe there, most likely.
Yeah, because well, back then most people believed it. That pretty much it was easy to figure out if you were really paying attention.
Yeah.
But a lot
For
of people
instance,
had some belief in it.
yeah, they believed that it
Nobody
was
leaves it.
real. They believed it was all those the hatred between those two was real, and the wrestlers back then make sure to keep that illusion as live as possible. For instance, would only ride with other heels, and the baby faces would do the same. They had
Exactly.
separate locker rooms for them. Yeah, they kept it real. They kept things, at a pace there. They wanted to make sure that the audience believed it.
Except
120%. Yeah.
except when Hacksaw Jim Duggins and the Sheik got caught riding in the convertible up to the one, and they got pulled over by the police, and they had cocaine on them and stuff.
Weed,
And
yes. I remember
you know,
hearing about that. Yes, I did.
Yeah. But nowadays, everyone knows it's fake. I mean,
Yeah, and
there's nobody believes it nowadays. I'm
Yeah,
amazed they
and kind
still
of
have an audience.
yeah, but then again, they like watching, the whole thing, watching people go against one another. It's like it's about the same as kind of like a violent soap opera, let alone the Jerry Springer thing there.
Well, that's what
They love
people
it
used to
up.
call it, was an adult soap opera.
Yeah. The most violent, they called WrestleMania, the first one, the most violent soap opera. I remember that in a magazine there. People
Yeah.
like watching some sort of drama and it's a lot of acrobat moves when you think about it there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
first started watching wrestling back in when the Ganyas were
Mhm.
wrestling, and
Oh, that's
uh,
right. That's the AWA from Minnesota.
yeah, I started watching that when the Ganyas. I don't know, I was probably like 6.
Vern and Greg, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that too. So I remember seeing that they were on ESPN for a while there. Same night as the WWF Tuesday night. I guess it was the primetime wrestling.
Yeah, and actually that's where we know him as Hulk Hogan, but Terry Bollea got his start was up there.
Yeah.
Roddy
Yep.
Piper. You know,
Yep,
they
that's what I used to watch every Saturday morning. Was I forgot the name? Was it NWA or AEW? That's what it was,
AWA.
or AWA.
AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid,
AEW.
every Saturday we'd watch it, and Hulk Hogan, the Sheik,
Yep.
Roddy Piper.
Well,
Um,
Roddy Piper, I think, was in still with the NWA. I think it was prior to joining the WWF. I think I forgot. I remember seeing a clip from 1977, and he was supposed to go after this guy named not Tank Patton, And I guess, believe it or not, years later, ways back when I was a wee kid, there was this one of those TV stations that ran out somewhere from long distance. You would get it on, what was it, the VHF or UHF there? I think it was called there, where you get the stations from either Canada or elsewhere, other states.
Yeah. I not sure, but I know a lot of what I saw was the Texas wrestling, and there was a couple of them from Louisiana, Mid South. I don't remember the names of the others, but I saw a lot of those, and that's where I saw like Jerry Lawler in his early career, people of that nature, Ric Flair.
Oh, oh wow, there's something there. Yeah, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, all those guys. And I remember when in the roasting program that I used to watch, there was this one annoying guy up there, and I realized when I think about it, that was Roddy Piper.
Yeah, he's quite a character. I mean, he was somebody that was enjoyable just because he was an interesting character.
That's what led me actually watching it. There was that show Piper's Pit he used to do with the WWF. So sad it was only for about a couple of minutes there. You had to go through a half hour of wrestling this guy, that guy, wrestling that guy, just to get to Piper's Pit.
Yeah.
one of the wrestlers I used to like was Hacksaw Jim Duggins, because he'd always come in stomping with the 2x4 and be like,
Yep.
"Ah!"
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the guys back then were characters, and they were more interesting because they were characters.
Exactly.
You know,
And then, of course, the WWF took it a little bit too far when they had to make every wrestler that they got a hold of into
well, actually, a ridiculous character
a
in a lot of
character
cases.
like a comic book character because they're just oh my god, that's the trunks of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream.
Oh, they really messed him up.
Exactly there.
He was
And
great
the
in
what?
Mid South and Crockett and all of that, but when he ended up with the WWF, it was almost like they were trying to make fun of him.
Exactly. That's the thing. And I think one of the most stupidest things out there was but then again, I don't know if the Gold. I think you mentioned that the Gold Dust character was Dustin Rhodes' idea. I think it was.
I believe so.
Yeah, because I know Cody. He was for a while Stardust, and he hated that gimmick to the full T there.
Yeah.
And now, for I understand, he has to go. Now he's with AEW, but he has to just go by the name because apparently, I guess, so for some stupid reason, the WWE is not allowing them to have his last name,
which is kind
even
of
though it's
bizarre.
had, which is because even though he's had that name for how many years, he was involved with the Ring of Honor. They had no issue with using that name there. So I don't know why they're fronting about it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the thing, I don't. Oh, did you hear about this? Paige. Apparently what it was is that the WWE is now taking away some of their rosters, Twitter, no Twitch. When I'm talking about Twitch streams there.
Well, my take on that is if it got set up by WWE, they can do that. But if it's their own, if it's the wrestlers' personal accounts, they're treading on some dangerous legal ground on that one.
Yeah, I know Paige, for instance, she threw a very, she was extremely heartbroken and pissed off because that's how she was able to earn a few bucks there. Because remember, she's unable to wrestle now because of what happened to her neck.
Right.
So she was like nearly in tears because she just simply said, "I cannot deal with this company no more." So we don't know if she's gonna quit or something like that, But still, come on. Paige needs to earn a buck. She needs earn some money. And Twitch right now is the only thing that she has for the time being, let alone the YouTube streams there. Even though we have yet to even see her do any streams on YouTube, but probably that's the route that she can do right now because, as you know, she cannot wrestle. She even
Right.
tries, her neck be busting, she'd be a complete goner.
God, that sucks.
Yeah. It's just, it's like, what the fuck? Like, is it like the WWE trying to grasp control over everything or what?
You think they'd have some type of settlement, or something like a package that they could give her? I mean,
Or, like,
McMahon
or,
is pretty rich.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But again, my
Or at
personal
least,
thing is if it's something WWE started, it's under their umbrella, they have that right. But if that's their own personal channel, they really don't have the right to step in and take it. There's some very dangerous legal ground that I think they would lose.
yeah. And not only the respect they will lose of the fans who watches those streams. I mean, like, people are giving the Vince McMahon shit for allowing the WWE created to be so crappy as it is right now for how many years?
Right.
I mean, if you can't help but feel bad for Joe Cronin because then he has to watch that show and give it a review soon afterwards, and he usually most of the time he says it sucks. This show blows or anything like that. The creative ain't worth a shit. I cannot count how many times Joe Cronin has went off on Vince McMahon, for allowing such a shitty product to be broadcasted.
Well, it's funny because people talk about how the other one was AEW
Hmm.
is so much better,
Yes.
but
Oh, they
the
are.
thing
Yeah.
is, it's still not as good as wrestling used to be.
Yeah.
It's just still trash, but just a higher form of trash, I guess you'd say.
Not really, but at least, however, the people out there who are watching it, they are in absolute having fun because when they were still filming in arenas and venues up there where they had that Dynamite show going on, there were a lot of people singing along to Chris Jericho's theme song. There were people shouting out, "You sick fuck! You sick fuck! This is awesome! This is awesome!" There was this one thing at the couple of clips where they had an AEW event in Corpus Christi, Texas. Gosh, they had this thing where everybody was stone cold stunning this Sean Spears guy there. Everybody, including Aubrey Edwards, who one of the prominent top female referees in AEW there.
Hmm.
She's getting a lot of notice there. People are shouting, "Aubrey, stun him! Aubrey, stun him!" And when she did, and everybody was screaming, "Yeah, Aubrey, Aubrey, Aubrey!" It's definitely check it out. Just type in AEW Corpus Christi, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It is a trip to trip to watch there, and it must have been around Christmas time because Jody Janlana, I guess his last name is pronounced. He was dressed in a Santa Claus outfit while he was wrestling there. They pulled out this one guy that was dressed as Jesus.
Hmm.
Believe it or not. It's like, oh, and I guess at every event they had this little get together. I guess it was, they shout out some people and they do some crazy things in the ring afterwards. And the thing about AEW is that, like Cody Rhodes said, this is the Ellis Island of pro wrestling. You can be your own person. You have a lot more creative freedom. Whereas the WWE, you're like, you're handed some scripts, handed them things to write, and you're told to say this and say that. And that doesn't make it fun at all. And half the promos suck there in WWE, let alone the storylines.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I quit watching. Oh gosh, it's been at least 3 years.
It's been
I've been
probably
watching,
10 for me.
you
Well, I had given up when the WCW went away,
know,
and I started watching for a little while, and then I'm not liking this, and quit watching. And then I gave it another chance about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Watched it for a little while. That's why I know about Bray Wyatt. And he was the only interesting thing worth watching. Everything else was kind of like dull. And when they started messing with him, I thought, okay, this isn't worth watching. And I just quit.
Yeah.
Um, I stopped a long time ago. It was just kind of sad because when I moved to Texas, we didn't have no. We only had regular TV at the house that I was staying at that time prior to moving here. So when I finally got to see Raw for the first time in how many years, I was like, "Who are these people?
Yeah.
Why
And
is everybody boring?"
and basically the only way I kind of even keep up with it now is I'll occasionally watch Cronin's show
Yeah,
to see what the heck is going on, and then I'll listen to it for a while and go, "Yep, didn't miss anything."
not much either.
I basically, I guess, listen just to see if anything's changed.
Which sadly it doesn't seem to be. You know, I
And,
guess we could. I guess we could all
well, I
sum it
listen,
up.
and
Go
I
ahead.
listen to some of Vince Russo's stuff because it's interesting. I don't know if you've listened to anything he does or not.
I haven't. I have a couple of times. Yeah, I know he has this show called Full Moon Attitude, where he allows people to call in and ask him questions and talk about just about everything, including wrestling.
Yeah, but I basically he's got several shows I like to watch. One of them's called "Castrating the Marks," which is
Yes,
on
I heard of that.
it's on
Yes.
his pay, but it is an absolute fun thing to watch because he sits there and he basically makes fun of these guys that read, write, and eat wrestling all the time, the dirt sheet writers, and some of
Yes.
the stupid stuff they say. And he uses their words. He doesn't put anything else in it.
Yep.
And that one's fun to watch. And then he does another thing on one of his other channels with Stevie Richards and Ben Hameen called Master
Yeah.
Shoot Theater that basically is a little parody on Vince McMahon, and it's
Right.
absolutely funny to watch that show. I mean, it is
I
incredibly funny.
I know he's been doing a lot of AEW view watching as well while he watches live reaction a couple times to a couple of pay-per-views where there's a WWE and AEW there.
Yeah,
So a couple times he has done that. I kind of missed that one of his shows there called what was it called? Oh, Bucket Full of Chicken Necks, where he goes off on what's going on in politics, pop culture, and everything else.
I think he brought that one back.
I hope so, yeah, because I got to see it on his YouTube tab up there because I miss watching that.
Yeah,
I called it on the show one time, the Full Moon Attitude.
uh huh.
Yeah, I called in, asked him, he was asking about how it is in Texas with the COVID-19 going on. He has mentioned that it was rising up again at that time when I called, which was a couple months back. And I asked him if he was still writing for the WWE, what kind of approach would he give the roster? He would go. and he did say mention about possibly coming up with storylines that's related to the events of that time, whether it's the George Floyd situation, the COVID-19, the lockdown, and everything else. That's what he would have came up with if he was still the writer.
Yeah, something a little more
And what do you,
current than what they do.
yeah. And by the way, wouldn't you agree that possibly AEW and Impact Wrestling should do the same thing WWE doing its turns with this Thunderdome thing there, where people can watch the events from their home and be shown on the little squares there, and there were supposed to be seats.
It would probably make it more interesting.
Yeah, it would because AEW needs to do that. I know Tony Khan. I think he's a billionaire himself. I guess.
That's what I understand. Like I said, I don't know much about any of that. I don't even think
Well,
I've seen an AEW episode.
oh, I have a couple of times in the past. I made a video about it being geeked up to check it out there. I know the NWA won't be able to because it's not that big of a company there,
Right.
which is
Oh
sad
yeah.
because the only thing I've been seeing so far from that company was just these documentaries between this rivalry, that rivalry, and or these other podcast shows or events from a couple of years back. These wrestling events.
Yeah, sometimes the documentaries are fun to watch because I know that around here, generally where I am, they used to have a venue called the Sportatorium in Fort Worth that hosted wrestling on a regular basis, especially when the Von Erich boys were there. Which, by the
Uh-huh.
way, that story is a sad one.
Yeah. There's Von Erichs. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yes. One by one, sadly.
I
It's like you
think
wondered what's that family was cursed or not, something.
I think the only one still alive is Kevin, and I'm not even sure about that.
Mm.
I think he lives in Hawaii now,
Wow.
but I think he's the only one left. The rest of them, like you said, one by one.
Passed away from this reason or that reason. I don't know what's.
Well,
Oh,
the
gosh.
first one passed away due to some kind of stomach thing over in Japan,
Yeah.
David, and then the next one, and I don't remember the order. Well, the next three killed themselves.
Wow. Remember hearing about that as well. I think one of them was later known as the Texas Tornado.
Yeah,
And it was Kerry Von Erich, it
Kerry
was.
Von Erich, right?
It's kind of funny, you know, one of the reasons why I kind of look down on the WWE is because they always make it change your character and your
Right.
name and such. Like, geez, they could have he just been Kerry Von Erich no matter what, but they prefer to call him the Texas Tornado. And one of the most stupidest gimmick they ever came up was Terry Taylor, the rooster, him going cock a doodle doo with this little red stripe sticking up in on his head there. Come on, give us a break.
Yeah, they're pretty famous for dumb gimmicks, but
And one of the worst ones to me was the one man game becoming Akeem, the Prince of Africa. A white man, they're doing all this stupid little hand movements and stuff while wearing African clothing. Give us a break. That was obviously to capitalize on the Coming to America movie, which was a big at that time there. But let's have a white guy so we could get all the blacks riled up and have Saba Simba, aka Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, go on there and start up a feud with him, saying we will see who the true African prince is, blah blah blah. But you get the idea where we're going to go for this here. I don't think that a feud ever emerged or not.
yeah, I think something happened with, I believe, Tony Atlas where he wasn't there anymore, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, most
Like I said,
likely. It was only brief. It was brief, folks.
yeah, I don't know much about a lot of the stories because just, well, to be honest, I'm not even interested. I just know
Yeah,
what I hear.
Yep.
yeah, and a lot of the things we hear just had not been that good. Bottom line.
Yeah, and it's just not worth my time and effort to go look any of it up.
You I know I couldn't agree. And it's like I've been watching the AEW for a long while myself. Because I've been busy doing other things. Like let's say it's been a while since I did a music stream. I've been thinking about doing that possibly sometime this week there, but I'm trying to find the sources what I can to do so, where it's techno, ambient, or slow dub or something like that. There, I got to start looking at that, man.
Well, I
Oh
guess
yeah,
I guess we've covered everything that we wanted to cover plus.
yeah, I did. Yeah, we had a pretty good show there. I think it's probably time to wrap it up. I guess it is.
Yeah, I think we've been on a little over an hour, and
Yeah, a lot more than an hour actually. And most likely when we get done, I'm going to compile all the two sections we have into one. But definitely no doubt, and re-upload this sucker there.
okay. And one of these days, I'll give you the list of what I'm missing on my channel,
All right there. All right.
and we'll figure out a
And
way to get it there.
all right. So and I'm going to try keep looking for that Manda 2 movie there on YouTube or somewhere else, whether it's some movies 25 or something like that. If it's still listed on there. Because I don't think most of those channels up there usually show current movies. I
Yeah.
guess it is, but I'll keep a trying here and there.
Okay.
So I guess I'll. But I was so what other than the Manitou, did you still what movie did you want to do in this place if I'm unable to find it?
Oh, let me kind of think about it, and I can tell you tomorrow or Wednesday.
All right, got you there. Hmm.
Because I really, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that I would have thought you might have seen. Because I really want to do one that you've seen.
Yeah. There was this one movie I remember seeing called Laser Blast around 1978 there. It was a kind of, it featured kind of the claymation aliens at the same kind that Ray Harryhausen did. I don't know if he was involved in it,
No,
but no.
no, it would have been
But
listed.
it would have been, it was a very low budget movie there. I have to explain look it up again and explain the whole storyline here.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so
I remember seeing it one time. I thought it was going to be at that time, I was big on science fiction and everything else. Thanks to the first Star Wars there, I was
right,
stomping up everything kind of science fiction at that time, including um, Battlestar Galactica, the original,
right,
and of course, the original Flash Gordon black and white series.
yeah,
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Definitely got to give that movie a notch.
yeah. That one was a good movie, actually.
Absolutely, it was. All right. So I guess that'll be it for today, I guess.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
All right.
okay, all right. Super Bowl, Minnesota Super Bowl Hunter, we thank you for being on with us today.
Absolutely,
Well, thank you, Arknolia, and Dr. Brown for having me.
All right, thanks. Good. Yeah, we got to definitely we got to hook up again this week there. Of course, we will on Real as Fuck TV as well.
Yeah, sorry I didn't contribute as much. There's just some things I didn't really know, you guys are talking about, so
All
well,
right.
I
that's
just
fine.
sat on the side.
It's okay, dude. It's all right.
All right.
All right. All right. So tomorrow night we will continue our discussion on the Rolling Stones on our music memories, discussion there. And on Wednesday we'll continue the Twilight Zone discussion there. And I guess on Thursday we'll take a look at the Kings.
Right,
And I guess
Friday's up in
and
the air yet.
yes, exactly. I got a couple of suggestions in mind as what about I mentioned earlier, but we'll let Arknolia come up with some stuff there we can discuss for our. I guess we could probably call it movie memories if you want to.
Uh, yeah, it's fine. I've been calling it movie madness, but it it
You know
doesn't
what?
matter.
That's a better idea. That's a better idea because we could discuss good movies, bad movies, movies that that cause a lot of controversy and everything else.
Yeah, just kind of go into all kinds of topics.
All right, there. Yeah, that's a better suggestion. I like that definitely. All
Oh,
right. All
okay. I
right there.
guess we're done, and we'll see everybody. Hopefully tomorrow we'll see everybody.
Absolutely. Here, it'll be Arknolia and the Doctor, Monday through Friday, with the exception of Thursday. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern time, except for Thursday, 6 p.m. because I might stint with Real Fuck TV there.
Right.
And I get the page loaded up here. So we can end this show here. Takes so long, then. And one of the first things I'm going to do is fucking clean this damn computer. Definitely, I think there's a lot of bugs up here that need to be kicked out. All right.
Alrighty then.
All right. You guys have a good one. All right.
All right. We'll talk to everybody later.
All right. And to you as well, Silver Hunter.